If you're about to take your first international trip and you're hoping your card will just work everywhere, this video's for you. And if you've ever had your card declined abroad, even after doing everything you were told to do, you already know why this matters. For many travelers, the moment a card fails happens without warning. You're standing at a hotel desk or a ticket machine, luggage beside you, and the payment just doesn't go through. Most people assume it's bad luck or a glitch. In reality, it's neither. It's systemic. For years, travelers were told a simple rule: notify your bank before you leave, and your card will work abroad. That advice hasn't kept up with how payments actually work today. Over the next few minutes, I'll explain why and what you can do about it so you can travel with more confidence. Modern banks don't rely on travel notices the way they once did. Instead, they use automated fraud systems that evaluate every transaction in real time. These systems look at patterns, not intentions. A sudden jump from your home country to another continent is already a risk signal. Add a hotel deposit, a transit ticket, or an unfamiliar merchant category, and the system may decide the safest option is to block the transaction first and ask questions later. Even if you submitted a travel notice, it's often treated as one weak signal among hundreds of others. In some cases, banks ignore them entirely. From the bank's perspective, blocking a transaction is safer than letting fraud slip through. That logic makes sense at home, but it breaks down when you're traveling. Card failures abroad don't happen evenly. They cluster in very specific situations. Visa and MasterCard are widely accepted around the world, but acceptance isn't universal. American Express, which runs on a separate network, is often refused by smaller merchants, transit systems, and rural businesses due to higher processing costs, even though acceptance has improved in many major tourist cities in recent years. Debit cards are even more fragile, especially when it comes to how available balances are handled. They tend to fail at ATMs with strict limits, at offline terminals, and during large pre-authorizations like hotel or car rental deposits, where holds can temporarily tie up funds even when a transaction technically succeeds. Credit cards usually perform better for big purchases, but they're not immune to blocks. There are also technical traps most travelers never hear about. Many transit systems, toll booths, parking meters, and rural merchants operate offline terminals. In some places, contactless payments work more reliably than chip, while in others the opposite is true, depending on terminal configuration. These systems can't check with your bank in real time. If the terminal can't verify the transaction instantly, foreign cards are often declined by default. In parts of Europe and Asia, payments move through regional rails designed primarily for local banks. Foreign issuers are supported, but deprioritized. Add strong customer authentication requirements, timeouts, or poor signal at the wrong moment, and a perfectly valid card can still fail. This leads to the real mistake most travelers make. They don't fail because they picked the wrong card. They fail because they built a single point-of-failure system. When all of your payments depend on one bank, one fraud model, and one decision engine, a single automated flag can shut everything down at once, and resolving that block can be difficult abroad due to time zones, phone access, or verification requirements. Even carrying two cards from the same bank doesn't solve this. Those cards usually share the same back-end systems and risk logic. If one freezes, the other often follows. The problem isn't finding the perfect card. It's assuming one trusted card is enough. A resilient travel payment setup isn't about brands. It's about independence. When your cards come from different issuers, run on different networks, and rely on different fraud models, failures stop being catastrophic. They become manageable. In practice, that means spreading risk across layers. A traditional credit card often works best for hotels and large purchases. A debit or fintech-based card can access local ATM networks and smaller merchants more reliably. Separate apps and recovery options help ensure you're never locked out completely. Think of it like backup power. You don't expect the main system to fail, but when it does, everything keeps running. This layered approach doesn't prevent every decline. What it does prevent is being stranded with no way to pay. Now, there's one quick clarification that catches a lot of first-time travelers off guard. Apps like Venmo or Zelle usually don't work abroad at all. They're designed for domestic US payments, not international use. That's why many travelers add a separate international-friendly payment layer, something that isn't tied to a single US bank or domestic payment system. This is where tools like Wise or Revolut come in. They're built specifically for cross-border use and tend to behave very differently from traditional bank cards. If you want examples of tools travelers use to add an independent payment layer, I'll include a few in the description. Things like multi-currency accounts and travel-friendly cards can reduce single-point failures, but they're not magic, and you should treat them as a backup rail, not your only plan. No payment system works everywhere. Offline terminals will always exist. Some merchants won't accept foreign cards at all. App-based verification can still fail if your phone has no signal. That's why experienced travelers also carry a small amount of cash, not as a primary strategy, but as a final fallback for truly offline situations. Preparedness doesn't eliminate friction. It turns panic into just inconvenience. When you understand how fraud systems actually work and build your payments around independence instead of trust, international travel becomes far less stressful. Most trips go smoothly, and when something does fail, you're ready. If this helped, please leave a like. It tells YouTube this is worth showing to other travelers. Subscribe to the channel for more calm, practical travel tech explanations. Leave a comment below with the country you want to visit next or the worst situation your card has ever failed in. Travel is complicated enough. Your cards don't need to make it harder. Thanks for joining me, and safe travels, wherever you're headed.